Hey, superhero. Welcome to Superhero Sunday. I'm Sam Shelley, and they call me the Miracle Man. So, welcome. Just checking my mic, make sure that is connected. So, just waiting for some people to join, but just to realize that each one of us watching this is a superhero. Within us is this perfect spirit, this consciousness. So, welcome. This is what I'm going to talk about today, but I'm going to talk about a book that I'm reading, Meet the Guides by Miguel and Barbara. I don't remember the last names, they're in the description. But I read about a third of it, maybe 35% of the book so far. It just brought up some questions for me. So, I'm going to dive into that today, and we're just going to see what comes up. I think this conversation is going to meander a little bit. It's not really structured. So some of it's be coming from my mind, my thoughts, and some of it I'm just going to go deeper and see what arises. So if you're watching, welcome. Say hello. Dowie's here. Hi, Dowie. Going through a lot right now. Just continue to relax and just trust your own insights, your own wisdom, and just sending love, living in love, sending out love. And that's true for everyone, for any situation that is unpleasant, difficult. We just want to send love into that situation. So, okay, we'll see if anybody else is going to join in here today. So I'm not sure where we're going today, what kind of practice. So the first question I had, was this thing they talk about in the book, meet your hybrids. Is that, am I a hybrid? Am I that my reaction, the wisdom that came up within me when I tapped into that meditation was like, no, it's really not that important if you're a hybrid or not. It's ultimately to realize that you are consciousness. And people are going to get fixed on all these different types of bodies and shapes. But that keeps us in a state of separation, that we really want to remember that we are one with all that is, that we are consciousness itself. And we have these various bodies, human, alien, whatever you wish to call them. We have that. We have that experience. But ultimately, it's remembering that we are consciousness. And when we know ourselves as consciousness, then all things are possible. So I was reading like one of the missions they talked about from one of these hybrids was very similar to the mission that I share. That it's really, my mission is to get people out of this head trash, remember who they are. So stepping out of the head, living in their heart, and then awaken their own inner healer. Because the ultimate job is for people to heal themselves. Yes, I can step in and help with healing. But when I do that, I see that it's not as lasting, not as permanent, because it didn't emanate from that individual, that person. So yes, I can step in when needed, but ultimately that's not going to last. That's not going to stick, because it's ultimately that individual's journey, spiritual journey, is to heal themselves, just like I healed myself. But it almost feels like I was activated in a way. But let's rewind a little bit. So when I was 6 years old, I was run over by a van. Then I remember that evening seeing three beings on each side of me. And I remember them removing my life support. But I didn't really understand what was going on. They didn't say anything. They just removed stuff. But I didn't feel any fear or any kind of concern. It was just like an interesting experience, I guess. But there was just no fear when they did that. So then I remember waking up in the morning after that experience, and my mom asked me, why'd you remove your tubes? Why'd you remove your life support? And I had no answer for that. So I was just run over by a van. I had this head trauma, broken left elbow, broken left hip. I was a real mess. I didn't know how physically bad I was. I couldn't recap that at that time. I just knew I was in the hospital, and I had lots of stuff hooked up to me. But I just feeling this, I guess there was no fear. It was almost like a peace, just removing this. But I didn't understand the purpose of it at the time. It was really, I think, the ultimate message I'm finally learning and seeing from that is that we don't need the outside world to heal ourselves. The outside world is simply your tools, your aids. Like I couldn't set my left hip, my left elbow. I couldn't physically do that. It was the outside help. But ultimately, that healing had to come from within me. Because no matter how good the surgeons are, or the medicine, or whatever it may be, if you don't have that belief system, it's not going to work. Somebody says this is the best medicine ever, it's going to take care of your problem. And if you believe, yes, it will do that, then it will. But yet, if somebody says this is great, this is going to really help you out, and you're saying, no, I know that's not going to work for me, that's not going to work, then this is the placebo effect. It's like our beliefs create that reality, make it the truth. So you could go in for like a routine surgery and they can say this will fix your problem. But if you're stepping into that surgery saying, I know this isn't going to work for me, this is a waste of time, then yes, you are creating that reality that it is a waste of time. Once again, I don't really know where this discussion's going today. But just to realize the importance, to realize that we're all starseeds in a way, that there is no soul that has originated on Earth. Earth is a relatively new world, if you will. There's some much older civilizations out there, and we've typically come through those different civilizations to have this human experience. Because human experience can get rather ugly, can get difficult, because everyone that has a human experience faces pain, trauma at some point in their life. I've yet to meet anyone that's been immune from pain and suffering, difficulties, challenges. That's part of the human experience. It helps us to grow, helps us to thrive. That's why I don't feel like I had the hybrid body. I had all sorts of issues, all sorts of problems. I was really stuck in the mud, the muck. But I needed to have that experience to learn to grow. So when I finally decided to inquire, to have that inner peace, then hearing the word perfect spirit, this sort of like activated things within me when I heard perfect spirit. It's just like, oh, that's it. That's the real me. I am perfect spirit. You watching the perfect spirit. Your friends, your loved ones are perfect spirit. Your enemies are perfect spirit. That we're all perfect spirit. We simply get into this state of forgetting who we are, the state of separation. So we don't want to focus so much on if we're a hybrid or not. It's really not that important. It just adds to your experience. But ultimately, it's remembering that we're all consciousness. Now, these beings and other civilizations are beneficial for us because they face these challenges that we have on Earth. And they know ways around them. They have advanced technology. And these beings do not mean us harm. Yes, there's probably some bad actors out there, but for the most part, the beings want the best for us. But it's up to us to do that. They're not going to do that work for us. They're going to give us the tools, the insights, the wisdom, but it's up to us to implement. Just as I'm helping people out of this noise, the head trash, to discover who they are, it's ultimately up to them to heal themselves. Because if I do that work for them, they have learned nothing, and it doesn't stick. That's what I've discovered. It doesn't stick. It's a Band-Aid. They get on their own 2 feet, it will. They give them a little push, a little nudge. But it's just remarkable to think about how I work. I've never been into, I only know a few healers that will actually say this. Yes, when I'm doing work on you, don't be startled if you hear people walking around you, touching you. That's not normal. How did this come to be? That I just know that when I'm working on people, beings are going to come. Healers from other dimensions are coming. Doctors that have lived here in the past are coming. I just know that. And I hear from people that they have been touched, that they do hear things walking around, that when I'm saying something to them, actually happening before I said anything to them. I see like I'll say to them, I see like Metatron putting his hands on your head. And even before I said those words, people tell me I feel somebody putting their hands. Then a second later, I heard you say that. So they're giving me this confirmation that what I'm seeing, what I'm witnessing is the truth. That I do have some abilities, but I think we all have some abilities. I think there's just more practice in other areas. Like I have intuitive gifts. I have some insight, some clarity, but there's much better readers out there because they're more practiced, more skilled in that area. But it's not about judgment or comparison. It's just about acknowledging that some are more skilled than others. So I'm not sure if there's anybody joining here comments. So Judith, so thanks for watching. I wasn't even watching to see who's watching live. There's a few people here. Like I said, I don't really know where this conversation is going today, but it's just to remind ourselves that we're not this. Our soul originates from an outside galaxy. Earth is a relatively young civilization, and that we're all, in essence, starseeds, that we all come from someplace else. And some of these starseeds, if you will, are just more skilled in certain areas. And ultimately, we have to see that, we can help people heal, but it's up to them to allow the healing and their belief systems. But I've yet to see a healer permanently heal something. I think it's like a Band-Aid for most people. That if they don't clear the stuff up here that was causing it, it's going to come back. Because they need to do that their own work, to have their own journey. This is what I tell people. I can get you 90% of the way to awakening, to discovering who you really are. But it's up to you to walk the last 10 feet on your own. To see that you can do this. Like riding a bicycle, you can do this. You just have to let go, surrender, and trust yourself. So that's why I just feel like talking about this today. I can get really deep and mystic, like when I really dove into this. Like, where did I originate from? Like, where was my soul hatched, if you will? Or where did my soul originate from? I just have this knowing that's a very distant civilization that isn't really known to the humans here. Because I never heard of anywhere, or haven't read anywhere of the Orsho system. I just have it. Or at least that's the way it feels like, it sounds like to me. It just feels like it's a very, very distant old society, way, way out there from Earth. Not really here, but I'm here. And that's what matters, consciousness. That's the most important thing, is that we're all consciousness. So I'm not sure what Judy's asking here, Judith. I'm not sure you go by Judith or Judy. So is Thomas a good match for me? I'm not really tuning into that right now. But what's your gut instincts telling you on that? Just be quiet. Allow the answer to rise. Just sit with that and just see what stirs up for you. I think it's a rather obvious answer, but I'll let you discover. But we all can tune in to everyone because we're connected to all that is. It's simply getting the mind out of the way, the block. Throw it out and be connected to all that is. That's what ultimately matters as consciousness, that we're all, in essence, a starseed, that we came from someplace else. And we each have unique abilities depending where we originated from. Some are more intuitive, some are more telepathic, some are more healing inclined, some are more empowerment inclined, some are technology inclined, some are relationship inclined. that we all have innate abilities that we can unlock. Just when I heard the spirit activated me, you could say, there's something to that activate you into an area that you're not familiar with. I never saw myself as a spiritual healer or in spiritual realms at all. I was simply a corporate guy working an IT career for over 20 years. Then I got very sick and just wanted inner peace. So inner peace is the way to have this unconditional love for yourself, to realize that you're not your judgment, you're not your opinions, you're not your beliefs, you're not your memories, you're not your thoughts. You are beyond that. You are the perfect spirit. So we just want to relax here. I'm just going to do a little bit of a practice now. I'm just going to see what comes through in this practice. So we're just going to sit here, relax. Close your eyes to remove the external stimulations. Don't worry about how you're sitting or laying down. We're just here to relax, to help remind you who you truly are outside of your inner dialogue that is not supporting you, that is creating this pain, this suffering, these difficulties. So we're just relaxing, allowing the grace of the universe to descend, for it's always descending, but most are not open to receive, too separated, too detached from all that is. But you can never fully disconnect yourself from all that is. So we allow the mind to relax. Feel Michael coming forward, Archangel Michael, cutting those cords, those ties to the past, ties to people that aren't serving you, cutting those cords. The more cords that are cut, the more peace that you're feeling within you. And this feeling of peace is the real. This is consciousness. This is perfect spirit. This is you. You are not your container. You are not this body. You are the aliveness, the experiencer of this body. So we let go of any worry, any anxiety, any stress about this body, this container, this experience. This experience is simply allowing you to grow, to take notice. What's going on here? How can I learn and move beyond this experience? By being at peace, by being gentle, by being kind, and just being the expression of divine love. If there's a purpose for us to be here, it's to be the expression of divine love, to be kind, to be gentle, to realize that we're all connected to all that is, that we're all perfect spirit, different flavors of the one perfect spirit, the universe, consciousness, source, whatever you wish to call that. For language cannot accurately describe the truth of our being, that everyone watching, sitting here, absorbing, is remembering who they are. They're waking up to their truth, their way forward, stepping outside of the mainstream of society, the groupthink, and walking their own path, standing in their truth, their strength, their wisdom. Feeling this deep peace resonating within you, the aliveness vibrating, coming alive, awakening from its dormant shell. For the mind has pushed the real self into the closet, not wanting to hear this information. For the mind wishes to stay in control, dragging you all over the place that does not serve you. We let go of that and we reclaim our power right here, right now, where our strength resides in this moment, just as it is, knowing that we can change anything through peace, kindness, and love. And so it is, as we come back to this moment, feeling light, free, joyous, happy, content, that all is well. So we're just coming back here, taking a breath, just relaxing, enjoying this moment, saying thank you for any beverages that we have here. Saying thank you to all the gifts that we have here in this moment, that we're alive and everything is possible. For you are one with all that is. Yes, it's perfect, Judy. We need to be in our own space. That's the truth. Dalwy, I just had this image. When you see your son, find yourself in love and allow your hands to move over him as you feel needed, but just be in a place of love. No worry, no stress. Just trust and just see this love coming out your hands. What's coming to me is that we think we need all this healing training, like Reiki, crystal healing, all these different healing modalities. We think we need that. But ultimately, we just to ourselves realize we're connected to all that is, which is this place of deep love, deep peace. And we can visualize this love going to all that needs healing, adjustment. It could be anything from physical health to finances to careers, relationships. There are no limitations. If we can just send love, visualize sending love to that situation, then it is mended. It is restored. It's simply coming from the mind that something is wrong. Nothing is wrong. It's all under perfect divine timing. And the mind cannot logic it out. The mind cannot understand miracles. And miracles are simply things that don't follow human rules, human physics. It's the great beyond, all that is. But all that is right here, right now. So it's not really the great beyond because we are in the middle of it. There is no separation. We are in the middle of all that is. We are divine love. No separation. Visualize that. Send that out. And that's how we restore the vibration of the world. All right, I'm just here if there's any questions for the last minute or two or three or four. Anything that comes up for you. We just want to realize that we are consciousness. Hey, Tammy, good to see you. I don't know if you just joined, Tammy, but you might want to rewatch this on replay. It was a nice little practice that came through today for about 4 or 5 minutes. That's all we need. We don't need to sit in meditation for half hour, an hour, 2, 3. 5 minutes is enough. 2, 3 is even enough. We're just trying to remember who we are outside of this stuff. Yes, all things are possible, Judy. There are no restrictions. Some are gifted with astral travel. if your soul originates from that area. Like I said, there's 1,000 different skills out there, depending where our soul originated from. But we're all not native to Earth, if you will. No souls were born here on Earth. We've all been quite experienced before we decided to come to this hot mess, if you will. Yes, this is actually an old background, Tammy. Because when I was doing the white background, I saw that the camera had issues. So I decided, well, let's go back to the tree of life and the hearts and it's all love. It's all peace. Mm. This is our true nature, one of peace. Mm. Yeah, I never saw myself being a healer, if you will, but I'm actually calling myself the anti-healer healer because I don't want to heal people. I'd rather waken up their own inner healer and heal themselves, for that creates true, lasting, permanent healing. That creates the miracles, that creates the cures. Yes, there's healers out there that can prop people up, but it's not going to be a lasting, permanent healing. Some temporary relief is what I'm feeling. Yeah, Judy, I'm not currently married right now. We're friends. Just trying to make sense of this hot mess that we call the world and all the COVID nonsense that's going on. Actually, the words they're telling me is the COVID lesson. They're saying it's not nonsense, it's a lesson. The COVID lesson. What are we here to learn from COVID? There's lots to learn in all experiences. What are you waiting for, Judy? I'm not quite clear on that. I simply got my head trash out of the way. This creates so much interference. It really impacts, the wisdom coming from consciousness. The more you can surrender that head trash, the closer to the truth you become, closer to source, closer to all that is. We just need to let go of all this doing energy and just reside in trust. I'm not seeing any questions. I'll hang out for a little more time and see if there's any other questions I can answer from you. That's exactly it, Judy. They try to distance themselves from whatever it may be, but they can't get away from themselves because no matter where you go, there you are, because you're always connected to all that is. It's like people go on a journey, they come back to discover that the answers were always within them. But yet there's some people spending their whole lifetime seeking, guru chasing, if you will, studying all these books, watching all these videos. But it's not about knowledge. It's about experiencing truth, experiencing the real you, the peace, the consciousness, that which can't be described, the experiencer, the observer, the awareness, whatever you wish to call it, that we are that. All right, well, I'm going to head off. I'm not seeing any other questions, comments, but I'll be back next Sunday. No idea what I'll dive into. And I'll be live tomorrow with Lori, and we'll do some soul messages, giving some clarity. I think I'm more of a gifted healer, if you will. And I do consider Lori a more of a gifted reader, a little more intuitive. She's a little more practiced and skilled in that area. But my real gift is helping people remember who they really are and to awaken their own inner healer. Yes, it is quite the maze of thoughts and feelings and garbage. We just need to throw it out. Once you learn the lesson, you'll need to keep repeating it. This is why I can say, that I learned my lesson from multiple sclerosis, bipolar, and all my other diseases. They don't need to be here anymore, so they're gone. No medicine, no cane, no need for it. I learned. Yes, good seeing you, Judy, Dowie, Tammy, everyone that was watching here. Be well, take good care of yourself, and let's send peace out into the world, love into the world. It's not our job to judge, to condemn anyone, to criticize. We just step in when harm is being caused, to speak up, because we are here for the human experience. We just realize everyone is doing their very best. All right, well, take good care. I will talk to you tomorrow. I'll be live tomorrow. And if you haven't seen my TikTok, I do lots of TikTok videos now, which are like 15 seconds to 30 seconds of little nuggets. Oh, that's great to hear, Judy. Yeah, arthritis doesn't need to be there. You learned. Time to move on. Time to have another lesson, another experience. Step into a new adventure. Life is an adventure. Once you think of life as an adventure, then there's no stress, there's no worry. The adventure continues. Let's have fun with this recent adventure. What can I learn from this? Where can I grow from this? Where can I send love into the situation? That's the most important thing. Where can you send love into the situation? And love will change course. Love will change that course of that situation. All right. Bye for now. Lots of love and peace to you.